Yo, it's your MartydudeVR, and today we have a lot to talk about. Okay, so this is gonna be more of a kind of response slash rant style video. I know I've been going for a few weeks, but we got some stuff we gotta talk about today. So IGN put out an article yesterday saying that the future of the PSVR2 looks bleak, the usual doom of the PSVR2, and I want to respond to it today in video form and kind of break down some of their points. Now, this is no diss towards IGN; those guys are cool. But we got to talk about this doom for the PSVR2, man. This is getting ridiculous at this point. Now, you guys know I'm not a fanboy of the PSVR2. I've been very critical of it in the past, in my reviews, other videos. You know how I give it up. But I gotta be honest, man. Some of the VR community response to the PSVR2 is really hateful, man. We gotta break it down why. Now, I'm not gonna cover every point in their article because there's a lot of them, honestly, and I'm gonna bring up the main points in the video. First, it's about the steep price. So currently, the PSVR2 is $399 at GameStop. That price makes sense to me because you're getting PC VR quality. That's the thing when in the article they're comparing it to the Quest 3, they're comparing it to well, pretty much the Quest 3. Guys, the standalone Quest games versus the PSVR2 games are totally different. You're not comparable. If you compare the RE4 version on the Quest to the RE4 version on the PSVR2, totally different games because different hardware qualities can handle different things. So yes, the PSVR2 is $1,000 in total because you're getting PC VR quality. That's plug and play. So of course it's gonna be $1,000 versus $500 for the Quest 3. That's just a standalone headset in terms of priority. So I don't get the point of people saying, oh, it's too expensive. It's PC VR level graphics for gaming. Why the hell would it be cheaper? I don't get some of those points. I don't get it. Next, talk about lack of backwards compatibility. And I'm not gonna lie, they got a point on that one. I also was very disappointed by the lack of backwards compatibility for the PSVR2. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good point. I give you that. I do wish at the launch of the PSVR2 they kind of did, speak more about backwards compatibility. But we here. The next is the retail delay. So that means pretty much the delay of the PSVR2 coming to places like GameStop, Amazon, etc. Now, thinking from a business perspective, just me and Sony, it makes sense that I want you to come to me to buy my headset. But honestly, as a consumer, thinking of a consumer way, I get that point. I get that point also. I also would have liked the PSVR2 to be available at Amazon, GameStop, even the controllers being sold on the side. Stuff like that I mentioned in my 1-year review. That makes sense. Next is the biggest point I highly disagree with, and that is Sony's lack of interest in first party. They gave y'all 9 first party games last year for a VR headset. Nobody cares. I don't know if you guys realize, but most of the general humanity does not care about VR. 9 games within the first year? That's pretty crazy. That's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. Games like RE4, Synapse, Call of the Mountain, even don't know how it's sold, but we can debate that later. But the point is, 9 exclusive games in the first year is great. I legitimately do not see the problem here. And they also mentioned the hardware being fantastic, which I do agree though. The PSVR2 is some really great hardware. Reprojection, mirror aside, is some good stuff. Controllers, all great. They also mentioned that the third party is okay. Bro, what do you not want them to put third party? I don't get it. I think people are too obsessed with first party games. Me being a PC VR gamer, me being a Quest gamer, me being a PSVR2 gamer, me being a general gamer on PC, PlayStation, even Xbox PC stuff, exclusives are whatever to me. And I feel like people are too obsessed with these exclusives for the VR space when honestly, they're not selling like that. You just saw that Assassin's Creed, which is one of the biggest gaming IPs on this planet, sold underwhelming on Quest, which is the biggest VR platform in the world right now. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's like, I feel like these expectations for first party games on a niche platform is just not realistic. Even this whole console generation, Sony has been kind of behind on the first party games. You think they're gonna push that more for VR, which makes less money? What? Are you serious? The third party games on the PSVR2 are better versions that you would get on the Quest and cheaper than buying it on PC VR, meaning buying a whole PC and a PC VR headset to play the games. Like, I feel like people are not looking at this realistically. I feel like they're looking at it with just like this weird hate lens for the PSVR2 when the PSVR2 is legitimately in the middle of the ecosystem. It's not quite high level PCVR, and it's not standalone quality. It's in the middle. It's literally in the middle price range for PCVR. I feel like people really don't understand that, and so that's why I'm like, you're saying it's okay, but a lot of those games you talking about will be, you can just get them at affordable price on the Quest. They look worse on the Quest. Like what? They also mentioned RE4 on the Quest and Asgard's Wrath 2. Nobody's mentioned RE4 VR for the Quest since it came out. People don't even know that it's even on there. People forget about it all the time. Asgard Wrath 2 was pretty cool. That's a decent game. Well, my cup of tea, but it's a cool game. But they're mentioning like big blockbuster exclusives like that. Man, Gran Turismo 7, Synapse, Ryzen called them out. A lot of big IP, a lot of big IPs. Like, I mean, RE4 VR was like one of the biggest VR games of last year. Was it as promoted as Asgard's Wrath 2? No, but honestly, for how it's promoted, it was promoted very well. I mean, state of plays, billboard here and there, trailer here and there, decent. They also mentioned Ryan McCaffrey's tweet. Now, this is not a diss to Ryan. He's very valid to his own opinion, but it's kind of bullshit. Let's talk about it. So Ryan says here, exactly 1 year ago today, I wasted $597.43, including sales tax. That's so petty, but that's funny. Great hardware with almost zero Sony support. I know the PSVR2 stands to come for me again, which I ain't gonna lie, we are on his ass on Twitter, I'm not gonna lie. But it's mostly ports of VR games I can play on PCVR. Has there not been a single first-party release after day one? He tweeted this February 22nd, 2024. There has been 9 to 10 games that are first-party for the PSVR2 since then. And this is one of the, who's Ron again? He is the executive editor at IGN. Cool guy. I respect his work, but his take, terrible. There have been a lot of games that have been very quality that are first-party. And my thing is, if you're a PC VR guy, I've said this before, you really wouldn't want a PSVR2. And that's totally fine. He's very valid to that opinion, and I understand. I get it as a PC VR guy myself. Some games, let's get on PC versus PSVR2, it is what it is. But to be this disingenuous about the headset's ecosystem to say that it's just not worth it because you don't want to play the third-party games on there, it's crazy. It's so crazy to me. There's a lot of great games on the PSVR2 that are multi-plat, and honestly, some of them are a better experience on the PSVR2 is with the headset. The first-party games are good. I mean, there's 9 games. That's cool for a first year. We're talking about a first year on a niche platform. Come on, Ryan. The article also mentions about Sony pretty much retaining users after launch. Now, they did mention that every headset goes through this, which is a valid point. Guys, a lot of people who get VR headsets will use it for a few weeks, if that, and never touch that joint again. I know people personally who got a Quest 2, Quest 3, who got, PSVR2s, and Valve Index, which is $1,000, and have not touched it, or not even used it, probably in years to months to that span of time. It happens. This is new technology, and people get it off hype, they play it, and like, I don't really feel like standing up to play games, and I realize they can sit down and play games, I feel like setting it up. It's valid criticisms. But to put that to the PSVR2 as a downside is wild. I feel like the expectations in terms of first party for PSVR2 were way blown out of proportion. How many first party games are y'all expecting on year one for new hardware? What were y'all expecting? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, a lot of VR games need to release multi-platform. There's just not enough money to go around. Games like Beat Saber, even Ghost of Tabor have like a specialness about them that, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of VR games don't have. Well, AAA quality games, but they took time to get to the sales they have now. If your game doesn't have the craziest, if your game doesn't have the craziest marketing push behind it, you need to release multi-platform. I'm not gonna lie, some of these games just aren't system sellers. Some of these multi-plats just aren't. Sorry, you're gonna need to release on the Quest to get those sales. You need to release on PC to get those sales. You need to release on PSVR2 to get those sales. We're going through a very bad time in the economy right now, and people just aren't willing to risk a lot of money on games right now. I'm sorry, it is what it is. So the multi-platform thing for the PSVR2, it makes sense. I mean, this is a new headset. Last time we got an update about the numbers is about 600,000 units. That's a lot of people. Probably half of those people have dropped off by now. Just estimating maybe 25%. But I feel like people need to be real about the platform. If you're a PC VR or Quest guy, you're probably not gonna want a PSVR2, and that's totally fine. But you need to accept that and stop shitting on the headset and the ecosystem because you're not interested in it. You're just not interested in it. It is what it is. Now, I did mention that the retaining users thing was a overall VR issue, and like I said, well, that's true, man. It is what it is. It's an issue with a niche. This is a niche. I know VR has grown over the years, but it's still in its infancy in terms of just environment and growth. So yeah, if you're expecting a lot of AAA games out of the VR scene, you're gonna be disappointed. I mean, somebody has to pay for that. It has to make sense to get that investment back on a very expensive game. Games like Insomniac's, what's the game on the PC VR? Dang, I can't think of it. I had to look it up, but it's called Stormland. Stormland is one of the highest quality PC VR games to ever exist. But did that game make all its money back? Probably not. There's not a lot of PC VR guys. So you have to think about this stuff when you're asking these companies to make these games. Does it fiscally make sense? A lot of times, no. Honestly, with PSVR2, I'm surprised we got 9 or 10 of them things last year, to be honest with you. I was expecting like 5. Now, one of the last thing they mentioned in the article is the future PC. Now, the last thing they mentioned is the PC VR support that Sony has announced on the anniversary. It's kind of a signal, meaning that they're giving up, quote unquote, on the headset, pretty much in paraphrase. Now, it's not an exact quote, but essentially that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. No, that's not what that means. They want to give people more options for the headset. A lot of people have been asking, let me use my PSVR2 on my PC. If Steam Link allows us to do that, that'd be monumental. A lot of people want to play PC VR games in a PSVR2 headset. For me, I would love to play Half-Life Alyx. I would love to play Blade and Sorcery, or a lot of those different games on my PSVR2 just to use it. If that means a Steam Link through the PS5 and the PC, that's fine. But I wanted a direct adapter. Yeah, I really would want one, I'm not gonna lie. Are we getting one? Probably not, because it seems like a really big technical hurdle that I don't see them getting over in like a year, to be honest with you, and it being cost effective. So it's more than likely a streaming solution, which is fine. Some of the points I agree with in the article, but I just feel like, man, this has been a lot of dooming for PSVR2. I don't get it. Some points are valid. Like, there are valid criticisms of Sony you can make on how they handle PSVR2. I mentioned it in the past. But some of these points, man, I feel like y'all are just going crazy for no reason. I'm not gonna lie. Now, IGN is the only people who've kind of done this, but they're the most recent and they're the biggest platform, so I'm gonna address them first. Now, this is not a diss towards IGN, because they're one of the few platforms who actually has like a VR, YouTube channel. So shout out them, but we gotta be honest here, man. There's a lot of dooming for no reason. I feel like they would not be this critical of other VR headsets that I'm not gonna name, but it is what it is. And it's funny, I wasn't even gonna make a video today, but after seeing that article, I was like, I gotta respond to this somehow, man. So this is more like a rant style video. I appreciate everybody who watched so far. I do have some more game reviews coming up. I'm playing still. Probably gonna be streaming Foglands, and I think I'm gonna play Genotype and maybe Contractors after this video releases. So go check out those streams. They're probably coming tonight, if not after this video. Make sure you check out VRWalk.com. Get you some prescription lenses for your PSVR2. Use code MartydudeVR for 10% off. I'm trying to save you some money, man. But it's been MartydudeVR, and remember, we'll just do it with VR headset. Peace.